everyone. It is me, the fabulous Leo Brown. And I know I haven't been on here in a minute, but sorry, I had to move my keyboard. I know I haven't been on here in quite a minute, but I wanted to come on here and talk about something that has been kind of going on for a while. If you're into music, if you're into anything about the '90s, then you know what I'm about to talk about. I'm about to talk about my group, one of my favorite uh, female groups of the '90s, who just recently reunited, and that is Xscape. I am a huge Xscape fan. I mean, of course, we all know Just Kicking It, and my favorite of their body of work would be from the Humming and Coming At You album would be Tonight. Tonight was just a beautiful song. And I believe they sang a song called I Bet You Can't Hang. I think that was them. I think it was either them or either TLC. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, I want to talk about it because recently there have been some things going on with Kandi Burruss, and her not wanting to, like, she agreed to tour, but she said, I'm not gonna record. I'm not gonna record any new music with them because I have other things going on. I'm doing, as we all know, she's gonna be in Chicago. She's playing Matron Mama Morton, which I'm gonna be honest. When I think of Mama Morton, I think of like Roz Ryan or Patty or Jennifer Holliday or like the people that have played her. I think of like and it's not to say that Kandi can't sing because I actually think Kandi has a beautiful voice, but I think of a woman like a big woman, like I don't know. I guess physically I don't see but I could be wrong. I think Kandi has chops to do it, and I salute you, girl, in that. Do your thing, Miss Burruss, Miss Tucker. Okay, do your thing, honey. I'm proud of you. I really am. She's come a long way, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about how people have been like, they're like, well, they're mad at her, or like the public has been kind of mad at her because they're like, well, you agreed to tour, but you agreed not to do recordings with the group. Now, here's my thing, and I'm gonna give, this is my, um, what I feel perspective, and then I'm also going to give my psychic perspective, like a mini reading on this too. But I understand where Kandi's coming from. First of all, Kandi's a Taurus, and it's been my experience that Scorpios, Taurus people, any air sign, whether they be Aquarian, Gemini, Libras, they don't forget a motherfucking thing. They don't. They it's like it's like having ace up their sleeves. They really are like that. When it comes to past pain and past hurt. And I think people are like, well, Kandi, you need to let it go. You need to let it go and move on and move on and move on. And my thing is this. I can see what people are saying. People are like, you need to move on and let go. That's true. She does need to move on and let go. But at the same token in time, what people fail to understand is this. Forgiveness is a process. And it usually is a long, drawn out process. It is not overnight. It is not the next day. It's not done in a 4-episode arc that's aired on TV of choice things that only we, the public, are privy to. And as somebody who has been around television, trust me, I'm pretty sure there's lots of shit that we don't see on that camera, okay? That we're not privy to at all. But Bravo only picked the choice cuts. It's like if you have to look at TV shows like steak, reality TV like a steak. You only get the best cuts of meat to put on the grill, and that's really what reality shows are like. Reality shows are not where, because people think, oh, reality, well, that means it's going to be true. Not really, because the way reality shows work, I'm going to keep y'all a little bit on this for those of you who don't know, and maybe some of you who do. The way reality shows work is they have a storyboard, and they basically say, well, here's what we're going to do today, and then you're going to interview with the producers about your comments. That's why, like, you'll hear the commentary, like you'll see the confessionals parts, and then what, like, they'll have the storyboards, and then they'll go, okay, You know, they'll put you in a situation, and whatever your reaction is. So let's say you know that coming up you're going on a trip, like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You're going to Costa Rica. Let's use that as a good example. So you go to Costa Rica, and they letting you know, hey, we're taking you to Costa Rica. That's the vacation or whatever, and we're gonna film it. Now, what happens? What reactions we see during that vacation? That's the reality part. That's what makes it reality TV. The rest of it is somewhat scripted, some staging, some stuff egged on by production, because production plays a huge role in reality TV. Trust me, I've talked to, and let me just, you know what, let me not say that because I'm not an expert, but from what I know, you go through production first. Production is the main people you go through, producers. They're the ones. Like, you come up with an idea, then it goes through production, then they do a reel, then if it fails, then you start shooting. That's how pilots come about. It's like any other kind of television show. So if it fails, that's when you have, well, coming up, the new reality show from blah blah. But anywho, but that's beside the point. But a lot of people are mad at her because they're like, oh, she thinks she's better, and she thinks she's this and she's that. And I don't get that from Kandi Burruss. I think Kandi, I'm going to be honest, I think Kandi is just like, look, we're all grown, we're all older, and I don't want to rehatch. You know, even though we said we've moved on and we've forgiven and we, you know, I've gotten my apology, I don't want to rehatch what happened 20 plus years ago. I want to be able to do this tour, make our coin, and we'll still be friends. We'll still be cool with each other, but we can be cool separately. And I think as you get older, I think especially as you hit, you know, and I've said this before, I think when you hit like 35 going into 40, you really are like, look, you know, I don't have time for BS. You really do get to that point. Hell, even when you hit 50. You get like that. In some cases, when you hit 30, you just start to see shit for what it really is, and you're like, nah, I'd rather not deal with that. I'm married, I have a baby, I have a husband, I'm successful, he's successful. The girls don't need me. That's her thing too, because I think her attitude is the girls don't really need me. I'm not really needed here, like that. I did what I said I was gonna do. You know, I signed up for the show. I signed up for the tour. I'm good. And I think the thing of it is that she wants to be her own woman. She wants to be like, okay, this was all well and good back in the day, but we ain't back in the day no more. We ain't in the 90s. We're grown. I got my own shit. I have my own shows and production companies and all of that. And as do you. And I don't want to get back into, because here's the thing about it when you're dealing with a group. And this is from somebody who knows. When you deal with a group, whether it be a singing group, whether it be a group of friends, you always go back into that role. This is even true with family. You always go back into that role that you played way back in the day. And I think Kandi is just like, I don't want to go back into that role. I played that already. You know what I mean? I've done that. I've been there and done that about the t-shirt. So I understand her thing. And I think the other women support her on it. I think they're not happy because they're kind of like, well, we do, in a way, we do need you because, yeah, you know, you might not have been the strongest singer, even though she does have a beautiful, she has a, you know what about Kandi? I think Kandi needs the right material to bring out her voice, personally. She has a great, I want to say, mezzo-soprano kind of voice, because she can hit them notes when she wants to. But I also think she does not have right. She's a fantastic songwriter. She can write the hell out of a song, and she has a good ear. And I think they want that, and I don't blame the other women for wanting that. But at the same token, they're kind of like, well, but we can't blame her for saying, well, you know what? I've done my part. You know what I mean? I've done. She did what she said she was gonna do, and I think her thing is she just doesn't want to go back to feeling betrayed again. She's being careful in that, and that makes sense. I think that's just normal. Excuse me, because it's like somebody pointed out. If if say 20 years ago, even though it's different, but say like, okay, let's just say, um, this happened to you. Now, mind you, you weren't quote unquote rich and famous, but you were well known in your neighborhood or in your city. And a person whom you trusted, whom you looked at as a family member, goes around and spreads vicious rumors about you. Wouldn't it take you a long time to forgive them? Granted, they've apologized to you, they've come to you on several occasions, but it's not them, it's you. You are like, okay, I accept it, but I have to process what you've said. I have to learn, I have to build my trust back up because right now there is a wall between you and I. And I don't know when said wall is going to come down. That's where Kandi is or where she was. And I understand that. So I get where she's at. I think that it's perfectly normal and natural uh, to feel like that because I think if I were in her shoe, and believe it or not, I've been in her shoe and I've also been in Tamika's shoe too, in Tamika Scott. I understand Tamika's thing too because Tamika's thing is like, well, girl, like we're friends. Let's just, I get both sides, but at the same time, like I said before, and it bears repeating, forgiveness is a process. So that's my whole, personal opinion on it. Now I'm going to give my psychic's perspective on it. So I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
See, baby, you're my little secret.
Okay, so here's what I get for Kandi Burruss and the women of Xscape. So what I get from them, I'm going to start with Xscape first. Because the first thing I get around me is I do get an album. Well, I shouldn't say an album. I get singles here and there coming out. And then I'm also getting like, and as we know, there's like 2 already released. But there's going to be more. There's going to be at least 3 more. And I do get an album coming out. And I actually think, because I know the question for a lot of people is, well, can they do better than, without her? They're going to do actually very well. Fairly well. And the main thing I'm getting that may be an issue for them is promotion. Promotion and the way that it's marketed. Other than that, they're going to do very well. Because there's some songwriters too in their midst. And it's funny because I actually get that this is going to allow the other girls room to stretch and kind of say things that they want to say. It kind of reminds me of the Spice Girls in a way, but just better, more polished. Like remember when the Spice Girls didn't have Jerry? It kind of reminds me of that, but just more polished, a more polished version. Um, I do get another or more touring, possibly. I do see more tours coming for them. And I don't know why I'm getting this, but I wouldn't put it past Kandi to come back, not as a permanent member, but more like a surprise appearance. So she comes back every now and again and comes through and, hangs out with them and shows her support. I get that kind of thing. Now, as far as Kandi's concerned, I'm getting a lot to do with, contractual agreements, and I see her expanding her brand a lot more. Um, TV, movies, Kandi Code Entertainment is just popping in my head. I get more boutiques coming in for her, more tag boutiques. There's going to be more restaurants with the old lady game as well. And not just Atlanta, like the Midwest, Chicago. I definitely see expansion coming in that. Todd is doing his thing too with television production because I'm seeing at least 5 things in the can right now. Let's see. And as far as she's concerned, I'm getting everything from like her doing plays, actual like acting, television acting, writing. She really needs to stick to writing because she's a fantastic writer. Um, she's developing television shows like because I see scripts, things like that. So they're gonna be, and I keep seeing this in my head. I would not be surprised if Kandi has another baby too, because I feel like another baby's coming. I keep seeing a woman pregnant, so I would not be surprised if she has another child. Um, But all in all, they're going to be fine. And I actually see them being better friends now than they were even then, than they were 20 years ago. Because I think now time has passed and they're now approaching each other like grown women. They still get into it. They're still sisters, don't get me wrong. But there really is a love here. I think people don't get the depth of the depth of the relationship and how deep it really is. They really do, all of them. They really do love each other. I think Tanya and Latasha are coming to like a more impasse because they're realizing they're really a lot alike. They really are. They're very similar. And Kandi and Tamika are like they're becoming thick as thieves. They're really becoming like back to that slowly. Um, but I get a lot of it being where the girls are gonna start really like, being girlfriends again, like hanging out and dinners and vacation, like really being. It's gonna take some time. I would say about a good 6 months to a year for them to reestablish a relationship. But I do see them coming forward a lot, and I kind of get a lot of it may have to do with not only the whole thing with the reality show and all that, but a lot going on with Tiny, with Tamika Connell. A lot going on with that because I kind of see them rallying around her. And from that situation, it will help them form a closer bond. So I feel like the girls are going to be just fine. I don't pick up any really malice between any of them. I think a lot of it was they were young, they were dumb, they were arrogant. Latasha is learning to be more humble because she really is a humble woman. She's just proud. She's just a proud person, and I think people misinterpret that as her being arrogant, and she really isn't. She's not an arrogant person at all. Um, Candy's learning that it's okay to you can heal, but sometimes in order for you to heal, you have to walk away from certain situations, and that's what Candy is learning to do. So all in all, these women are gonna be fine. But that's my psychic take on it. That's what I was picking up around them. So I want to know now, what do you think? Give me your insight. Give me your views. Leave them below. I do read all my comments. And I thank you guys so much for watching, for sharing, for subscribing, for commenting on what I had to say. Because you certainly don't have to watch this. My channel is not for everybody, but I thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, of course, YouTube. I'm trying to think. Check out my website if you actually want a one-on-one reading from me. You're more than welcome to get one. I would love to give some people one. I have no problem with that. And until then, darlings, have a wonderful holiday. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. So, but have a wonderful holidays. God, I can't believe it'll be like 2018 pretty soon. But anyway, have a wonderful holiday, and I will talk with you all very soon. I love you very much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.